couple of weeks ago at Black Hat, I got to sit down with Len Noe. Now, Len Noe is a legitimate hacker cyborg. I know how ridiculous that sounds. Another name for it could be transhuman, but it's essentially someone that has made modifications to their body, in the case of Len, by implanting himself with different microchips to be able to conduct advanced hacking techniques. Now, I could talk about Len for a while. He is definitely my most freaky friend, but I enjoy my conversations every time I sit down with him. So without further ado, let's go into the temporary Black Hat Cyber Sake Bar and have a conversation with Len Noe. Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Cyber and Sake. And I cannot tell you how thrilled I am to be here. I'm here with Len Noe. Now, Len, it's fantastic to have you here. We've got a little bit of a history because you were the very first guest on my very first podcast.
And I got to tell you, your intro is one of my favorite interviews I have ever done in my career.
Holy So I just found out that cyborgs are real and they can hack. This is probably the most terrifying revolution I've had. You're a pretty big name, so I'm assuming that probably a lot of people will know about you. But for those that don't, you're a legitimate cyborg hacker.
I am.
It sounds ridiculous, but can you maybe just explain what that means to you?
So I took basically an old dog and taught it some new tricks. I found that through the use of implantable technology that falls into the wireless spectrum, RFID, NFC, you can actually get subdermal implantable technology. And of course, it was never meant to be used as a cyber tool. It was meant to be, I want to be able to get into my garage or get into my gym and, honestly, I lose everything. Where's my keys? Put it in your hand. You can't lose your hand unless, you can, but I think you'd know about it.
Yeah, for sure.
So I actually have 11 different microchips. I can interface with RFID, NFC. I actually have some crypto bionic security chips that I've added to my arsenal now. So I'm both offensive as well as defensive, and I think we're gonna open your eyes to some really cool stuff today because I've done a lot since the last time we've talked.
All right, I'm excited. First things first, can cyborgs drink sake?
We can. We prefer bourbon, but sake we can make an exception. Always good to oil the machine. Oil the machine
for sure. All right, so we have two today. We're gonna start off with number one. This is Yuri Masamu, and it's from the Yuri region in Japan. Famous for kind of soft water. It's a bit of a nutty. All right, cheers.
Salud.
Salud.
Oh, that's good. That's really good.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Subtle little nuttiness in the aftertaste. Very good.
We're getting back onto security. What abilities do you have that a normal person doesn't have? What can you do with these implants?
So that's a very broad question. For starters, I can interface to wireless technologies at a high level. What does that mean? Near field communication, or NFC, has been built into every modern cell phone for the last couple of years. It's the backing technology behind Android Pay and Apple Pay, but that's just one function it can do. There are what are called NFC triggers. I can redirect you to a specific web URL with these types of technologies. I can connect you to a Wi-Fi network. I can set up a predefined SMS or email. This is basically all of the basic tools that I'm using for all of my current implant-based attacks. I love this. This is actually one of my favorite new attacks. I don't think I showed you this one yet, but it's an implant-based smishing or phishing. So I can actually have an email that's already predefined with hyperlinks in it. And, when we're dealing with phishing, we've all been put through so many of these campaigns. Don't click on the link, check the sender.
Yeah.
Well, what do you do if it's from the actual sender?
Yeah, for sure.
So, who's somebody else within the podcast organization that we're dealing with? I just need a name. We're going to give some credit to somebody behind the scenes.
All right, Philippe. Philippe's my producer and editor. So.
All right. So, all right. Let's say I want to get to you because you're the talent. nobody's going to get to you because they got to go through the producer first, right? So if I can convince Philippe, hey man, let me show you this really cool new cat video. The minute that phone comes into my hand, I've got a predefined email already set up to go to you, assuming and looking like it's coming from him.
Right.
With my malicious links in it. So
the moment you get that phone in your hand, your chips are working. He's not looking at it. You go, oh, sorry, I'm just, it's not coming up.
I told you it's going to take me a second. I got to find this cat video. These cat videos are amazing. But it's going to ask me, do you want to send an SMS? Yeah, I do. Do you want to use the default, messaging program? Oh, yeah. And I'm just going to fire it off.
Yeah.
And if you guys are in constant communication, the idea of you getting a text or an email from your producer is not out of the question.
No, not at all. Yeah. And the other part that, too, is there's no evidence. Nope. Like, there's like you walk in somewhere, you can communicate with different things. You grab people's phones, you pull up a wireless network. Mm-hmm. People get suspicious. They stop you.
And that's another thing. I unfortunately I am from the United States. I know you're European and you guys are so much more cultured than we are. And I know my Latin is terrible, but I believe it's pronounced mens rea, which is Latin for malicious intent. You can commit a crime and not be a criminal. Was it your intention to commit a crime or did you just make an accident?
Right. Yeah.
So this is the difference between if let's say you and I are both going to go on the same, red teaming, physical access, penetration test. If I can skim somebody's badge, write it down to one of my implants, and even if they catch me, there's not anything more. I love walking this through with people. Let's walk the scenario.
Yeah.
You find me in your data center, in your server room. What are you going to do? We're going to call operational security. We need to get somebody. We got somebody where they're not supposed to be. They're going to grab me. I know I'm going to get caught. I don't care.
Yeah.
That's the difference. I don't care if you catch me because I know I'm going to walk.
Yeah.
We're going to take you into our operational security office. We're going to call the police. The police are going to come. They're going to be like, all right, how did you get in there? Well, I didn't know I wasn't supposed to be. I've seen like the towers of all the servers, on the Dell commercials at home. It was just really, really interesting, Well, how did you get into the door? Well, I just opened the door.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, we're all security conscious here. So there's going to be some video, closed circuit TV footage out there. And what are they going to see?
Nothing.
They're going to see my hand come up. They're going to see the door open.
Exactly. Yeah. Is there a line that's too far? Like it's you got all this capability in that. Is there something that you look at that people in the transhuman in this movement are doing, and you think that
in my opinion that's too far? Yes, absolutely. Transhumanism is being thrown all around a lot in the news right now, and not in a good way. It's like always has something to do with some kind of rich person trying to find the fountain of youth through technology.
Yeah.
It's, I want to live forever. And we're not going to talk about the other, things that seem to be associated with that. But I can tell you that most transhumans are like me. We're just normal people. And the one thing I would say is that immortality thing. That is the bridge too far for me.
Yeah. No, I can totally get that. And there is a category of billionaires right now that are
as we speak,
that are very invested in this kind of
as we speak. I mean, I don't know about you, but the idea of, 1,000 years of Elon, it would be, and I'm not saying pro or con. I'm just saying, imagine the stuff we would get.
We would get a lot of content.
We would have content. We would have content.
Yeah. One of the things that I'm kind of always curious about is where are we heading in this space? So last time we spoke, one of your primary objectives was
the SBC.
And also just to kind of show people what's capable,
I think when it comes to, the exposure to the possibilities, I have been very, very fortunate. I've actually come up with some new stuff now, and I got some prototypes that I should be able to show here within the next quarter, a couple of months. I've come up with this is actually something anybody can do this. You do not have to be completely, cyborg crazy like me to pull this one off.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you remember, or in my opinion, one of the great cyberpunk films of the early 90s by the name of Johnny Mnemonic.
I have not seen Johnny Mnemonic.
This was basically a movie that had Keanu Reeves in it.
Yeah.
And he had a hard drive in his brain. And obviously, you're going to know this is old because he had to double stack the drive to get enough space. Yeah, all the younger
before SSDs.
Yeah, before SSDs. See, this was when a gigabyte of storage would cost you about $5,000.
Yeah.
So this is a long time ago, but it doesn't play well as far as its tech, but the concept did. And in this movie, he was basically exfiltrating data and smuggling data with hard drives that was inside of his body.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this has fascinated me ever since I saw that. And we've even talked about the fact that all of my current implantable tech is passive. So there's not much I can do in an active attack scenario and without another device or something to give me the energy field that will energize these chips and then perform the data exchange. So I came up with a dermal stud back style piercing where the back of the stud is actually a 1 terabyte hard drive.
Wow.
I got it wired up through the stem of the piercing, and it connects to what essentially is contact points that are maglock oriented. And I have a custom USB-C cable that has plunger pins, so I can literally just snap a cable on my arm, plug into your computer, exfiltrate anything I want, pull it back off, and it just looks like I got this kind of cool body jewelry on my arm.
Yeah, okay, that's crazy. Yeah, so it's so much thing, and this goes right back to what we were talking about before of like no evidence,
No evidence.
Yeah.
And I know we talked about this the first time, but for anybody that missed that episode, one of the main reasons why I've done this is the legal protections that the current health and privacy laws give me, both here in the United States as well as the European Union. HIPAA and GDPR, anything that goes inside your body is then considered medical data. So the authorities are not even allowed to ask me about this. I'm the only hacker that has governmental legislation protecting my tools.
That's amazing. Let's talk about kind of like developments in this space too.
Sure.
Is AI changing the game in this? I mean, AI is kind of changing everything.
AI is changing the game a lot, and we're seeing it much more in the medical space.
Right.
Look, I mean, we could talk about the brain-computer interfaces for just a minute. Elon and Patient One with Neuralink. The Patient One had, I want to say it was 82%, 83% of the electrodes pull out of the gray matter. And Patient One went through a short period where the device was no longer functional.
Mm-hmm.
Then Neuralink came out with a software update. This is DEF CON. This is security. We can take a really good guess at what was actually happening. They oversampled the usable data with either machine learning or AI to give it enough to where it would actually be able to read the signal and function again.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing that I'd rather focus on and get your thoughts on is we're talking about the technology. We here in the United States just had something amazing happen here. And I think this is going to be the start of a global trend. We've had 3 states here over the course of the last month that have enacted neural data privacy laws. So we are actually, in my opinion, way ahead of the curve for a change in terms of getting in front of security, sovereignty, and personal PII at a biofeedback level.
That's really interesting. Do you think that there's much that frameworks that legal governance and stuff can do? Is it keeping up with it?
That's the point. This is the first time I've seen something that's I can't really say that it's preemptive because we have multiple people that have had computers put in their brains over time. And for anybody that's listening that thinks that, Neuralink is the first time we've done this, We've been doing this stuff since the 80s. They used to be called BCMs. They were called brain computer machines, and you had BrainGate. This is just the next step of evolution in technology that we're seeing right now. So this stuff, what we can actually get from this is insane. And normally we won't hear about legislation in terms of privacy until after there's some kind of a data breach.
Yeah, for sure.
So this to me is extremely unusual.
That's right.
Right.
And
nobody's been breached yet.
Yeah.
You know, we talk a lot in my circles, especially with the biohackers and the transhumans. Ransomware for us has a potentially completely different meaning.
Yeah, this has actually only popped into my head now during this conversation, but you're an offensive hacker, white hat, and all that.
For taupe.
Taupe?
I'm a taupe hat.
Taupe hat, okay. But you're also a target. like
I am.
You know, as you've also
I am
kind
a
of
big target.
And you're I'm sure that it's secure on that, but you're kind of, you have endpoint in your body that I could potentially connect to.
Endpoints, you know, and the thing is, I broke the number one rule about security. What do you tell people what your securities are? Do you tell people what your stack is?
Yeah.
No. I not only
put it in a book.
I not only put it in a book. I gave you the links to where you can go get the white papers on these things. The only thing's missing is you remember that old game Operation?
Yeah.
You know, the only thing that's missing is the layout of me with the arrows pointing where they are.
Does this concern you? Like, is it something that you worry about?
Does it concern me at this stage? No. I mean, but you also have to understand, I look at the world through a completely different set of eyes.
Yeah. The other part of kind of all of this, I'm just thinking out loud here, is like, does this become a potential attack vector in the future?
Absolutely. It's an attack vector now.
Yeah.
But the difference is now it's after medical devices. It's you know, people look at me and go, oh, he's different. I'm not. I'm doing the exact same thing that anybody who has a STEM pain management system has. If you are using an internalized continuous glucose meter, if you're using one of the new implants for sleep apnea, there's no difference between that and what I'm doing outside of the medical. And we can even question the term necessity.
Yeah.
So two of the things that I just mentioned, continuous glucose meters and the implant for sleep apnea. What makes those people that go for those choices, and I'm not begrudging them for doing it. You can prick your finger and get your glucose score. They have CPAP machines that have been around forever. Why are they accepted? That was his choice. You don't need those implants. It enhanced your life.
Yeah.
It made your life easier. But because I did something that is outside of the realms of medicine, there's no difference between us. And the only thing that makes it different is the perception of society.
I think that's a very good point. Well, then let's talk about perception then. Is perception going to change, do you think?
I think it already is.
Do you think it is? Yeah.
I really do. And we're Gen X, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When we were younger, did you ever walk into a business and see, and don't get me wrong, I don't judge. I'm the biggest freak in the room. So I ain't throwing shade on nobody. But that being said, when I was younger and we were younger, you never walked into a bank and saw somebody with an unnatural colored hair.
Yeah.
You never saw a business professional with tattoos.
No. Yeah.
Body piercings. We have been continuously moving the needle of what is considered socially acceptable, and I think it will continue. I really, really thought that the wallet that credit card chip that I got would be that breakthrough that, oh, well, I want to do that.
Yeah.
But, you know, honestly, nowadays, I really, really think it's going to be the sleep apnea or the glucose stuff. It's going to be the stuff that people are going to go, you know what, I don't need this, but I want it.
Yeah.
You know, in the trailer for my documentary that's coming out tonight, the body I was born in was not enough for me.
Adapt
maybe I'm just here to open everybody's eyes. Maybe
Yeah.
that's my whole purpose.
Yeah, I like that. And I actually that's a great segue because I wanted to, before we ran out of time, I did want to mention the documentary that you're going at.
Yeah.
Because I was curious, like, what's the motivation behind this? Because I know a fair
The
bit
same
about
motivation that it's always been. I honestly want people to understand that this is real.
you.
You know, most people don't think that, cyborgs or even this type of implantable technology, that's science fiction. It's science fact.
Mm.
And I have the opportunity and have been given so many amazing opportunities to speak and present this material at different conferences all over the world. 73 countries and counting.
Yeah.
But the problem with that is this is a very small group of numbers. And I can basically wake people up and, shake these guys up. All right, you guys get it.
Yeah.
Now go forth. But what are you going to do? I can watch a presentation, but let's be honest. If you're not a cybersecurity person, sitting down and watching a DEF CON talk,
Yeah.
most of us, I like to think that I'm entertaining, but they're dry.
Yeah.
Most people are intimidated by cybersecurity and offensive type videos.
Mm.
This was done in such a way that this is the human story.
Mm.
We really don't even show a single attack. But
Yep.
what I do show is, an actual installation of a microchip. And there's a lot of discussions with my father, people around me, people in the industry. What does it mean to be human in 2025?
Yeah.
And if you really want to get into my story, this is definitely more around the tech side of things. It's written from a human perspective, but there is much more around the attack side. If you want it along with the human, is go ahead and check out my book, Human Hacked, My Life and Lessons as the World's First Augmented Ethical Hacker. And as a special for your listeners, we were going to keep this, off to the side. But if you go to my website, iammachine.com, we actually have my book on sale right now. If you buy direct from me, and you will also get an autograph. So you'll get an autographed copy of the book, and you'll get it for $10 off list price.
Well, that sounds like there'll be a link to that website in the description, and I can highly recommend that book to everyone. It's very
I
fascinating.
really appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, Len, it's been awesome to have you. Thanks so much for coming on. I hope to have you on again. You're always entertaining, you're always insightful, and you're always freaking terrifying. So,
well, in that case, as I tell everybody, stay safe, stay secure, stay sovereign, and stay dangerous, man.
Oh, awesome. Thanks so much. If you like that clip, you're going to love the full show of The Secure Disclosure. The Secure Disclosure is a cybersecurity show that comes out every single Thursday. We bring the latest news, research, and leaders in cybersecurity into one place. So make sure you subscribe wherever you're listening to this video, or find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcast fix, and make sure you check us out.